Hey guys, how's it going? Miso here, back with another episode of the Willometer, and today we are going to be going over ML Sigret. First off, let's just start by taking a look at her S3 because it is beautiful. Oh my gosh, so the drones just start circling around, she comes and calls them down, freaking, oh my god, these animations get better and better every unit. But let's not talk about just her animations, because she does look great, but she is one absolutely loaded unit. So ML Sigret, Operator Sigret, she is crazy. Looking at her stats, her imprint, release, and concentration are both attack percentage. For herself, I'm not sure how impactful it'll be, because as you can see, her base attack isn't super high. But, you know, anything helps, right? So, as I mentioned, base attack, not super high. Health, actually pretty decent. It's not like Bruiser, it's not gonna be like a Knight health, but it's also not like a DPS squishy health. 5.5k is respectable. 115 speed, pretty damn good. Defense, on the lower side, but whatever. Crit chance, 27%. Having that crit chance come from Awakening is always amazing, because crit chance is one of the most highly sought after stats for DPS units. Anytime I see any type of crit chance on a DPS unit, really great for him. Then a little bit of extra crit damage on her Awakening too, just a little bit of a cherry on top. But you know, I think she's gonna be built a DPS unit, so this is a really good Awakening and really good stats for her. Of course, attack being a little bit low, but I don't think that's super important given her kit, which we'll go into in a little bit. So, starting with her S2, Annihilation. She batters the enemy with a scythe, grants an extra turn when the enemy is defeated, penetrates the target's defense by 50% or 100% if the target is granted a barrier. This skill, this is her kit right here. This is what she's going to be rotating, this is what she's going to be based around, because it does insane damage. Honestly, I'm going to show you the numbers later, but you have to trust me. This skill does absolutely crazy damage just because of the defense penetration. And when a unit has a barrier, they are just done, just like that. You don't even have to build her that much damage, and they are out of the game. And then she gets an extra turn on top of that. How crazy is that? Her S3, let's move on to that. Obliterate calls in drones to attack all enemies with a 75% chance to decrease buff durations by 1 turn before decreasing combat readiness by 20%. Increases attack of all allies for 2 turns. This is also insane. This kit, her skills are loaded. So just giving attack buff to all allies is an absolutely crazy, it's a really good ability. But on top of that, she does stripping basically, so getting rid of, most of the time if you're opening up, there's a strip, and decreasing combat radius by 20%. That is absolutely crazy. So I don't think, this skill might be loaded, but I don't think that it really synergizes with her kit though. But I think that it'll be a nice addition to what she does. So the reason why I say that is because I don't think you're going to want to build effectiveness on her, take advantage of the the strip and the combat readiness push. You're going to want to put in the damage on her. But for those squishier units, I think that even if you have not much effectiveness, it'll be able to push them back. It'll reduce cooldowns by 1 turn. That part's just a nice to have. But really, just increasing the attack of all allies is really strong. Her S1, and her S1, I don't even know why it does this, but if we read a description, attacks the enemy with a scythe before healing the ally with the lowest health. Amount recovered increased proportional to the caster's attack. She didn't need this. She didn't need a heal on her S1. It could have probably just done damage and she still would have been insane. But they gave her this heal, and looking at the numbers a little bit, I have it on top of my head, it's 30% of your attack, which is actually kind of insane. Well, not insane, but it heals over time. But it's definitely, again, it's not something that she needed. So let's look at the stat calculator, right? So continue off the S1, if she has 3,000 attack and 280% crit damage, right? That's just very easy to achieve for pretty much any unit. She's going to be healing for about 1,000. You give her attack buff, that brings it up to about 4,500. 1,500 heals. Like, that's really good. Like, you know, over time, it's going to add up, stack up. I think that's really good. But really, I want to look at her S2's damage. Oh, shoot, I did give you a little bit of spoiler, but pretend you didn't see that. 9k without a barrier. Respectable damage. She doesn't have that much attack. If you built her, kitted her out for damage, she'd do 12k. That's a lot of damage. But let's just say you're not building her, you know, your gear's not that great. You don't have that much damage in her. Increase attack, you know, she can gives it to herself. Add the barrier. 24k damage. You're nuking any unit basically to oblivion with that much attack, with that much damage, and that's not even with an artifact. Let's say you're memeing, right? You know, portrait. I don't think portrait's going to be like the best artifact on her, but look at that, 29k damage. That is insane. Any unit with a barrier is just getting instantly deleted. And let's say, you know, let's drop an Aureus in there, right? 19k damage. That's still absolutely crazy. You're killing most units, most bruisers with this, no problem. And in the current meta right now, it's all tanks, bruisers, healers. And I say in the current meta because the meta is probably going to be changing a little bit. I know that they're increasing the buffs that you like, the attack when you get Frenzy. You're making Frenzy start earlier. They're just making it so that the game doesn't last as long. So we'll see how long that bruiser meta lasts, whether or not it will come back or whether or not it, you know, it's gone. But like in the current meta, this kit is crazy. Her S2 does an absolutely insane amount of damage, and you can probably hear it in my voice, but I'm very excited for this unit. And I think, you know, I'm not to spoil anything, but I think she's a must pull. But yeah, so absolutely insane kit, absolutely amazing unit. If you want to kit her out with a little bit more attack, let's say, you know, you have a little bit better gear, bring it up to 4k. Look at that, 26k damage with an Aureus. Like, oh my god, this unit is gonna be blowing up people. So let's go a little bit into the tier list. So I usually like to do this. I usually like to take a look at the tier list for like units that are in the meta that are relevant, right? And in this specific case, these knights, these healers are usually the ones that are most relevant. Ruel, anytime she heals any unit with her S2, that unit is gone, just like that, using her S2. Anytime FCC is on the field, immediately everything is fair game for just being one shot. Like, I don't know if this is gonna happen, but it's definitely gonna make people pick FCC a lot less for every piece of PvE content, RTA, Guild Wars. But like, let's say the bruiser meta disappears in RTA, right? Guild Wars, FCC is still extremely popular. So anytime you see an FCC on the field, you pick her, a unit is instantly gone. Roana, very popular because of SSB. Moment she uses her S1, puts a barrier on something, that unit's gone. This is supposedly ML Crow. Sorry, this website doesn't have ML Crow's image on here. Anytime you use an AoE and pops that barrier, any unit you pick, absolutely gone. Obliterated. The reason why I have Lilius and Cecilia here are because they give barriers themselves, not to their entire team, and so, you know, you can blow them up, I guess. And the reason why these are down here okay are because there are some things that, you know, make it unideal, or like it doesn't happen all that often, I guess. I mean, I might even bring Rose up here, but she's not even that popular in the meta, so yeah. Rose, her S2 gives a barrier. Anytime a unit gets pushed up there, blow it up. Flurry gives herself a barrier at the beginning of the battle, and whenever she overheals. So at the beginning of the battle, if you want to build your Sigret to be fast, which she can. She's 115 speed, and she doesn't need that much attack to do damage. Like, you know, you could probably build her like I've seen some people with like, of course this is crazy gear, but like they have like 3,500 attack and about like 270 crit damage with 270 speed on like their Rylance. Like that's kind of like on the insane side of things. Let's say like, you know, 3k. Still hard to achieve, but like not unachievable. That floor is dead right there. Let's say you don't have, you know, attack buff, right? You want to open up with S2, 13k HP. No, not quite dead, which is why I put it on like the okay. But like, let's say you want to build your girl to be like all attack, right? And then you just push it up with 8 lots. Bam, that flurry is dead. Like, she is gonna be doing insane damage to anybody with a barrier. She gives barriers, and the reason why DN's here is because anti-crit, always have to put it into factor. You're rarely ever gonna have the barrier up without the anti-crit up, so you're gonna have to look out for that. But yeah, in terms of like how I'd build her, I'd say that because she doesn't need that much attack and damage, damage, in most cases, like most games there are barriers, like most, and you're gonna bring her in to teams with barriers. I think I'm gonna want to build her bruiser just because like you probably don't want to open up with your strip, right? There's much better units for that. What you're gonna want to use her S3 for is, you know, maybe removing an attack buff or a defense, like not a defense, but like crit resist buff from an enemy. So you do turn 2 there. Around 200 speed, 210 speed. The DN probably has gone already. The buffer, some buffers have gone already. Use your S3, clear those things out. And you know, if you wanted to open up S2, you totally can too, because CC's barriers, all these barriers last for multiple turns. So you can just take advantage of, choose what time you want to go in and hit them with, you know, your S2 and just blow them up. And the reason why I'd say you want to go bruiser is because, you know, she does have that heal portion to her, so you know, it does benefit you to have her on the field for a little bit. So you're gonna want her to survive. You're gonna want her to be annoying, strip debuffs, push people back, and heal over time. I mean, I don't even know if this is a meme, but like you could probably even build her Bloodstone and have her as kind of like a secondary healer. I think that because she does so much damage, you can use her on like an artifact like a Bloodstone and still, you know, do what she needs to do. So she's absolutely insane. And let's say, you know, I was talking about earlier about the meta, I don't know where it's going to go, but like, let's say it's not bruiser meta anymore, right? It's not like the shields, the barriers, all that. I think you can still build her other ways because her S3, her kit, her S1, they just do so much stuff. She does kind of like supporty stuff, but she also does like damage stuff, right? So you can build her both ways depending on the situation, depending on the meta. And because of that, I think she's always going to be a useful unit and a must pull for me. So I usually rate these units with PvP and PvE in mind. So PvP, I give her a 10 out of 10. If I could give her a 20 out of 10, I would. She's just that great at PvP. PvE, any unit with a team-wide attack buff is going to be good. On top of that, she heals. So, you know, probably not the best PvE unit, but if you need her to be one, you can use her. So I'd give her like a 7 or an 8 there. And on the Willometer, out of 100, where would I rate her? I would give her a 95% on the Willometer. If you have the means to pull her, absolutely pull her. If you don't have the means to pull her, try to find a way to pull her, because you are absolutely missing out if you don't pull this unit. Of course, with every unit, if you are limited on resources, then, you know, you don't have to pull her first week, right? You don't have to pull her first day. Let the content creators pull them, see how she is from there, and then decide whether or not you want to pull for her. Like, but for me, off initial thoughts and looks, she looks insane. Absolutely must pull. Alright guys, hope you all enjoy that video. Comment down below if you're gonna pull for her, if you agree with me, if you disagree with me. Let's open up a discussion down there. Thumbs up if you enjoyed it, subs if you loved this video and want to see more, and I'll see y'all on the next one. Peace out.